We're into the 6th month of 2020 and we're still none the wiser on Call of Duty 2020. It's still not been revealed, nor do we know the name for sure. But that hasn't stopped the rumor mill and leaks from exploding. With 100% genuine pre-alpha gameplay leaked online and a plethora of new gameplay rumors and leaks on campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. There's obviously a lot of intrigue for this year's Call of Duty game, so you've come to the right place if you want a roundup of every rumor so far about Call of Duty 2020 in this video. But I must stress there is heavy emphasis on the word rumor. I would not take everything in this video at face value, but rather as a discussional piece, as these are stories currently circulating in the Call of Duty community, but of course have no confirmation or certainty as to what is fact and made up for fun. And be sure to watch this all the way through to the end because I don't want you to miss out on any crucial information, but made up for fun does not apply here because we have to talk about the leaked pre-alpha gameplay that happened the other day. I still can't believe that we've seen gameplay of this year's COD before it's even been announced by Activision. Like, that is wild. Now, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, you know I've broken down the gameplay already, but that was when the news was breaking. That gameplay's been circulating for a few days now, and there's a lot of things that I didn't initially notice. And because of that, there are a few specific things we can guarantee will be in this year's game, including the guaranteed first weapon since we saw gameplay of it. Now, the weapon in question is called the Daewoo K2, which is a South Korean assault rifle created during the 1980s to replace the older M16A1 rifles used by the South Korean army since the 1970s. And what is curious is this weapon wasn't in service until 1984, which seemingly clashes with the various reports and rumors that the game was going to be set in the Vietnam War. However, some people are suggesting that the game is going to jump around time and explore other parts of the Cold War, not just the Vietnam War. And if that rumor is true, which it is just a rumor at this point, could explain how the Daewoo K2 exists in the time frame of this game. Some other things to note when looking at the leaked gameplay: when the player aims down sights, there seems to be a prompt appear on screen which looks very similar to the mounting prompt in Modern Warfare, so there's a chance that the mounting system could be returning. And on the topic of Modern Warfare, the general gameplay, the graphics, the fluidity, the animations, it all looks very similar to Modern Warfare graphic-wise and game movement-wise. But if I had to compare the looks-wise, it looks like a clash between Modern Warfare and Black Ops 1. It doesn't look futuristic by any means, but it doesn't look too old either, and it looks a lot more colorful than Modern Warfare. And Treyarch are always known for having that sort of colorful, cartoony style, so it looks like it might be a blend of the two. There are a few other similarities to Modern Warfare multiplayer as well, and again, this could all be subject to change, as that gameplay did show a pre-alpha build, so anything can change, but there was a circular minimap which is very similar to Modern Warfare, as well as the on-screen compass in the top middle that updates in real time on your direction, just like in Modern Warfare. By the looks of things, there's no prompts to suggest specialists are in the game. There's going to be no type of special launchers or abilities you can use, which is always good news to hear. And one of the maps was codenamed Tanks, and it had a lot of tanks on it. It had tanks on the ground in like a sort of hangar looking thing. There were tanks that were raised above the ground. There was open outdoor areas. It also had some secret pathways underground underneath the tanks in that area, essentially giving you lots of different ways to traverse around the map. But I think the most important point from the leaked gameplay is that the game looks like it's running on the Modern Warfare engine, or very, very similar, all the way up to the mantling, the animations, the sprint. And from my opinion, I don't have any problems with that. The engine is super robust. It looks fantastic, has incredible animations, sounds, graphics, so this is going to be a very good looking game. And with Call of Duty Warzone supporting COD 2020 this year, I don't know how it would work if it wasn't on the same engine as Warzone, so it adds up. And the final detail we can point out is that there is a Dazzler Robotics logo spotted on a truck in the map, which is an instant relation to the Black Ops 4 multiplayer map Arsenal, where the whole premise of that map was a robotics facility which showcased the robotics that they were making. Now, I think there are two explanations here. The first is it's probably just a placeholder vehicle and won't actually be in the final map, as there's probably a bunch of Black Ops 4 assets existing in the game already that they're working off. or it's the same company but the robotics is missing from the logo, and this might suggest that this is the historical beginnings of the storyline of the company. So we saw what they were like in the future, but now we're going to go back in the past and see what they are like in the 70s and 80s. And the reason why this isn't such a far-fetched theory is that the logo does look a little different from the Black Ops 4 one. But if you thought that was it for the information in today's video, then oh no, because we have a lot more. And this all comes from the Twitter user Victor_Z. Now at first glance, if you look at his profile, you might not think too much of it, but if you need a little backstory, Victor is actually one of the ones that broke most of the information that was leaked for Modern Warfare early, way before the reveal of Modern Warfare actually happened. Last year in Modern Warfare, a week and a few days before its official reveal, Victor dropped a ton of information that would later come to be true. Now, not everyone is going to be 100% because development always shifts and changes, but a lot of what he said was absolutely spot on. Stuff like there will be many night scenes in Call of Duty 2019, which was a massive focus upon the reveal of the game. Night vision is an important combat equipment for this game. It will be used in the campaign and multiplayer will also be used, which is correct. You will know when you see gameplay, and reiterate, this COD 2019 is not Modern Warfare 4. And he said that at the end of April, a full month before the game was revealed. He even went one further to explain that this game was not Modern Warfare 4, but the title is very close to the game. He mentioned that there was no zombies, that there are campaigns and campaign characters from Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 are connected, and that the sales strategy had changed about the season pass. Like, you can't just guess that stuff up, and he was absolutely spot on. So whilst it's easy for anyone to make something up, put it on the internet for attention, Victor Z is not one of those people. He's a super mysterious person that only posts on social media every so often, but he is back again for COD 2020. In a recent tweet says, the account will not tell me about the new work of COD in the future. As a Chinese, I was a little disappointed to see the content of the COD 2020 campaign. The MP is played the same as MW. Now bear in mind, he tweeted this before there was even leaked gameplay. So I'm willing to believe that was not just a guess, but he goes further, describing it literally as MW 2.0. Now without seeing the game, it's very hard to judge what that means, but if you've seen the pre-alpha leaked gameplay, you can sort of agree with the statement. It does look like Modern Warfare. Someone asked him, zombies? How is that coming along? Also, will there be doors? Is it on MW engine? Please answer. And he responded saying their own engine, not IW. So it's a little interesting. To me, I believe that answer could be interpreted as they have modified the IW engine to make it into their own, but it's not necessarily their own engine built from the ground up, because that would just take far too long. Now, someone also asked Victor, do you have any news on if they plan to reveal the campaign first or wait on the multiplayer? And his response was, the first trailer is to promote the plot, which is almost tradition with every Call of Duty game. The first reveal trailer will of course be a campaign trailer, but it sounds very Treyarch for the first one to be a very cool plot trailer. We got some fantastic ones for Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, so I'm expecting good things. And looking back at Victor's prior discussions about Call of Duty 2020, this dates back to the 21st of April, where he mentions the plot description of the campaign is similar to the Black Ops series. The multiplayer is also similar to the previous COD, which we can agree if you've seen the gameplay. COD Zombie has some new ways of playing. It is very suitable for me. I don't like to look for Easter eggs in the map. No need to ask for specific information I can't disclose. When further asked about zombies, he says that zombies has new gameplay, but that does not mean to give up the old gameplay, whatever that means. And then when someone asked about if the gameplay is going to remain the same, can we have some news on what's going on and what's staying? Is Juggernaut in the game, please? He replies saying the game has not been announced yet. It is too early to discuss these, but good news. So it all sounds promising from Victor Z's end, which is fantastic. And it's so shocking how we have so many details basically solidified for us thanks to that gameplay leak. But now let's talk a little bit about the name and when we can expect the announcement. Now, a big rumor was posted on Twitter by a user called Okami who had leaked accurate info on the Call of Duty franchise in the past and claims to reveal the name of Call of Duty 2020 being called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Now, of any of the rumored names for this year's Call of Duty game, this is the one that has stuck the most. And as far as rumors circulating about this game go, is that it's set in the Cold War era and has connections to the Black Ops world, which would line up with the name. Furthermore, Eurogamer reported that their sources can confirm to them that Call of Duty 2020 is called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And when a big reputable source like Eurogamer confirms something like that, it adds a ton more weight to the name actually being genuine. Now again, until it's confirmed officially officially by Activision and Treyarch, we don't know if this is the name, but everything is pointing to this being the likely name. But looking at where we are today being June, this is now the latest we've ever had a reveal for Call of Duty. That title previously went to last year's Modern Warfare, which wasn't revealed until May 30th of 2019. I was very confident that we were going to see the game's reveal last month to coincide with all of the Warzone teasers that were being added, but it looks like that's not the case. But there could be a few reasons as to why. The most obvious first one being that there is obviously a big global health problem at the moment, and with everyone having to work from home, that obviously puts a few complications into how smoothly and efficiently things can work compared to how they normally would. And looking at the wider picture, there are many games, not just Call of Duty, which are affected by this. No game studios or publishers have had to work like this before, so obviously it's new territory. And there are also many other issues happening in the world right now that deserve all attention put onto that, so it probably wouldn't be great timing for COD to be revealed just yet. And even though this seems far later than normal, that's no reason to worry. As with every Call of Duty, Activision and the studios working on the game have their own marketing plans, and I guess this year is just going to be a very unusual year compared to what we're used to. And with the recent Easter eggs added into Warzone, they probably have a ton more things planned before we get the main announcement and reveal. And the final thing we know so far about Call of Duty 2020 is that Treyarch has already reached out to esports players to get feedback and have an open discussion about feature sets for this year's game. Professional COD League player Chance said on Reddit that he's had meetings to discuss competitive philosophy for the 2020 title. Telling everyone on Reddit to stay hopeful, the devs are really interested in making next year a great year for competitive, and he's being 100% serious. That's going to round it up, my friends. Let me know, with all this information, what are your thoughts on this year's Call of Duty game? Are you excited to jump back into the world of Black Ops as the rumors suggest? Or do you think we could be getting a weird hybrid game of both past and future? I'd love to know your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, rating, subscribe down below with a bell tick so you keep yourself notified of all the latest COD 2020 news. If you want to talk more COD 2020, you can find me over on Twitter and Instagram. I basically live on both of those, and they're linked down below in the description. But thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.